It's now my pleasure to introduce our next speaker today. Most of you probably know the organization she's with, so that doesn't need introduction, but I'll introduce Meenakshi Burra. She's the Chief Digital Officer for Hindustan Unilever. For Unilever Operations South Asia, she's responsible for IT, data and analytics, and business services for the South Asia geography. As part of her role, she co-leads the Reimagine HUL program, which is digitally transforming the organization's journey to an intelligent enterprise. So Meenakshi is passionate about leveraging the power of technology, data, and analytics for business, and in the last 10 years has led several global data and digital transformation initiatives in HUL and other geographies at Unilever globally. So please welcome on stage Ms. Meenakshi Burra, Chief Digital Officer, HUL. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Giri. Fabulous, and good morning, and really nice to be here and have an opportunity to share some of what we're doing in Hindustan Unilever with all of you. Hopefully give a quick intro to Hindustan Unilever and also in the context of the presentation, which is all around digital in the brick and mortar industry. So HUL has 90 years of heritage in India. We see ourselves as an Indian company, and we have been giving a lot of our CPG brands into the country, and 9 out of 10 households use at least one of our brands, and we hope as we go forward more and more brands. Our purpose is to create a sustainable business and make sustainable living commonplace, and we do this through sustainable products and also sending our sustainable products through our ecosystem of distributors, retailers, all the way into your households. Some of the brands we have, hopefully you are all using at least one of these brands. If not, many of them are fantastic. Please do use it, including my favorite, Magnum. Getting into the whole space of digital, right? I just wanted to step back and look at India in total, and none of this will be new to the people in this room, right? India is one of the fastest growing digital economies in the world today, right? If we look, 75% of our population is accessing the internet, many of them through smartphones, right? Smartphone utilization has tripled since 2015. Our smartphone sales have doubled, and we have increased speeds. Mobile speeds have increased by about 400%. Now, this is not just in urban India. This growth is happening across urban and rural India. And in all honesty, we have 20% more users on the internet coming from rural than from urban. From an India digital stack perspective, everybody knows the success of Aadhaar and UPI. We heard breakthrough thinking on ONDC from Shirish earlier today, right? So lot is changing. We have the third largest startup ecosystem in the world. We have over 100 unicorns. And the government of India is building a path to a $1 trillion economic value added and build 65 million jobs in the whole digital space. Now, in this context, can anybody in business in India afford to not have digital in the front and center of their strategy? Absolutely not. So for us in HUL, this could be how do we participate in the quick commerce economy? And remember, we are 90 years in this country. So we are used to selling through the physical stores and the physical supply chain. So how do we start coming on board into quick commerce or digital, much like the digital first companies are, and they come in first with that as a business model. How do we bring in eB2B? Or closer within our own company, how do we participate with the gig economy? How do we look at differential sort of talent models to bring in the best skills to help us digitize and digitalize? And that has really been our journey on what we've been calling Reimagine HUL. So Reimagine HUL is our digital transformation program, which we've been running now for about 7 to 8 years. And this is all about being able to shift from our linear and physical value chain into something much more digital. How are we going to leverage data, technology, and analytics to digitize every part of our operations so that we are much, much more efficient and agile? How are we capturing digital as an opportunity to create those differential platforms so that we have, better experience and connect with our consumers, who are the people who use our products, but also how are we using digital to make our customers' life more efficient and help them grow. So customers being retailers who are there in the length and breadth of this country. And therefore, we have gone from looking at it as a one-way value chain of sending products out to a much more interconnected ecosystem of customer, consumer, and operations, which we want to digitize in parallel, leveraging the power of data, tech, and analytics. Today, I thought I'd just share some sort of examples of how we have done this. So some examples of how we're bringing all of this together in service of our consumers, in service of our customers, and how we're actually doing this to digitize our own internal operations. And hopefully this will give you a good example of how a brick and mortar CPG company is going on this whole journey of becoming digital first, right? Now, anybody in marketing or anybody in CPG retail absolutely understands this circle, this whole path of a consumer journey from going from awareness to interest to actually going to want to purchase a product or desire and then take an action to purchase, right? So AIDA. And we have digitized different aspects of how, as a supplier, as a manufacturer, we would look at each of these parts of the consumer journey to be able to understand what our consumers are looking for, what are they actually purchasing, what are they saying about our products, what are the trending sort of attributes that we're looking for. So in beauty, for instance, are they looking for vitamin C? For cleaning, household cleaning or surf, are they looking for hard water products? So try and look and see what are they looking for, and then really be able to build products rapidly so that we are able to meet the user need, then be able to make sure that the right consumer understands that these products now exist, give them the ability to purchase it either in store or through digital commerce. So, Shirish was calling out UShop is now available on ONDC, so UShop, and then be able to go back, get their feedback, and then go through the cycle all over again. We have been working in the whole innovation space and digitizing our innovation very, very robustly, all the way from awareness all the way to delivering the product on shelf, and we call this our Agile Innovation Hub. And we have been working to ensure that any innovation that used to take months is now something that we can do in weeks, so that we are competitive, but more importantly, we have the right product on shelf. And here's a quick video that brings this whole thing to life.
Reimagine HUL's consumer ecosystem is addressing rapidly evolving consumer needs and market dynamics with an interconnected network of next-generation capabilities. Our digital and data-led agile innovation model under the consumer ecosystem allows us to reduce innovation lead time from months to days while delivering superior products and consumer experiences. We leverage data, tech, and artificial intelligence to discover real-time consumer trends in an always-on fashion. Using advanced data science, we visualize and analyze millions of product launches and market data points at the touch of a button. Our machine learning algorithms predict future trends to target the biggest opportunities before they become mainstream. Cutting-edge modeling and simulation capabilities let us design product formulations in silico first and validate them digitally. Our connected lab of the future uses advanced automation to enable high-throughput formulation and scientific analysis. Even the time-consuming fragrance selection process is cut down to hours using an in-house robot-assisted library with over 2,000 fragrances. Digital design and 3D printing allow for rapid prototyping and pack testing. We use augmented reality to visualize packs on shelves and in consumer homes before producing them. We work with an in-house panel of sensory experts and thousands of consumers on speed dial across India to understand consumer responses and refine prototypes, sensories and concepts in a matter of days. Once formulations are perfected, our advanced manufacturing center mimics manufacturing processes at our digital factories using data-backed digital and physical twins to scale up production. Our network of nano-factories can produce just the right volumes at unparalleled speed. Our in-house professional studio rapidly creates high-quality influencer content. And to top things off, we deploy tech-enabled fluid user experiences on our D2C engagement platforms and data-driven marketing in e-commerce and omni-channel launches. Our talent pool of 760 scientists and technical experts across 3 R&D centers used these capabilities to land more than 100 innovations during the COVID lockdowns. This is our repeatable, digital and data-led agile innovation model.
So digital for us was not just to have the platforms that are technology or data led. We're looking at a lot of physical automation. We are looking at signals from across the digital as well as physical connect that we have with our consumers. We're able to translate that leveraging machine learning to be able to give us the specific areas that we should be going after, which are most complementary to our own portfolio and brands, and then to be able to take that and to do co-development with our R&D with rapid prototyping and using things like 3D printing to be able to get some of these product designs absolutely ready in days, and then be able to work through our entire manufacturing setup. So Unilever does a lot of production in manufacturing facilities and pallets, so we do cases and pallets, and that's something that we know really well. But how do we also do those small numbers? How do we do hundreds of pieces to be able to test and do that rapidly? So building the capabilities of also being much more agile and nimble about doing this in the entire chain, and therefore crashing our entire innovation cycle from months and into weeks and days. And this is something that we have launched, as you saw in the video. We had almost 100 innovations that went through this over the last 18 months or so. And we are now looking to scale this much more across our categories. So this is a repeatable model and brings together very, very different parts of the organization across a single process so that we are able to get to our consumers faster and with more impact. So I think for me, the big learning around this is how do we bring the whole sort of process view and the outcome view and then work backwards and look at all of the technology and digital innovations that we need to stitch together, we need to innovate, and then bring together to be able to give that as an outcome which is positive overall. From a customer perspective, this is a really important part of the engagement that we drive through our company. So we have almost 10 million retailers in this country, and direct coverage for Unilever will be some of the larger retailers that we have, so maybe 2-3 million retailers. And we believe that it is really important to help our retailers succeed, and through that will come the long-term success of our company. And we break this down into 3 parts. We look at how we generate demand, how we capture demand, and how we fulfill demand, right? Demand generation could be through digital channels, it could be through physical media, advertising, all of that. Demand capture is a big space, and this is where India is seeing a lot of evolution and disruption from a digital perspective. So how do we get eB2B live for over millions of retailers? I think this has been a big one for us, and that could be how do you do ordering, how do you provide credit, and how do you provide the right data and analytics to make this friction free, right? And then finally make sure that once your order is there, how do we do next day delivery? We're all used to next day, same day delivery. So how do we get that going for our retailers as well in the most optimal fashion? And for us, the big sort of jewel in our crown is Shikhar. Shikhar is our retailer app. It is the HUL app which is present in over 1 million retailers in the country today. And what we did with it, and spurred on with some of the catalyst of mobility restrictions we had during the pandemic, where we also saw higher levels of adoption, we are able to provide anytime ordering. So shifting from a cycle of a salesman going to a store saying, what is your order? First it was doing it in the khata books, then taking the khata book out or the order book out and then getting it into a digitized form for the salesman. But now our retailer can order from us anytime. We have very clear and transparent pricing. We have on-time delivery, which we track very rigorously. We have guaranteed returns, and of course, we have credit through credit partners that we have brought in through the app. Everything available in the same place, and leveraging the power of data and analytics to ensure that we're able to make the right recommendations and the right offers to our retailers. I think this has been a big sort of focus for us to be able to ensure that we have the right capabilities to partner with our customers so that we're able to bring the right product at the right time to all of our consumers. In the operations space, this is all around having an efficient supply chain. How are we planning right? How are we sourcing the right products? How are we making sure that we have the right level of agility in our manufacturing processes, and then making sure that we deliver in an efficient, cost-efficient way, because that ensures that we have the right thing at the right price available to all of our users in the store. And what I want to show you is a little bit on our journey around the whole digital manufacturing space and how we are bringing in robotics, IoT into the manufacturing process to help complement and make it better.
So, the factory is in the midst of tea gardens and has undergone major transformation since inception. The site serves beauty and personal care business group. This is a state-of-the-art manufacturing plant with advanced digital technologies and high-end automation. The newly installed high-speed bottle lines are the latest technology lines available globally. This unique design of the line uses several robots, which provides the flexibility for a single-minute changeover, enabling the line to handle more than 50+ variants. This has generated end-to-end savings and faster response to consumer demand. A 2000 units per minute sachet machine has been set up, which is the first of its kind in Unilever. The site has embarked on its journey of IR 4.0, thereby generating value for business. Advanced digital tools like video analytics and digital eye are installed to strengthen safety and quality matrices at site. The safety app is empowering the shop floor employees for faster reporting and mitigation of hazards, thereby ensuring a safer workplace. To improve factory productivity, manufacturing losses and process parameters are getting tracked digitally to enable autonomous decision-making. To harness the power of shop floor employees, digital applications are being used to transform shop floor culture and increase engagement by 40 times. All these initiatives are paving the way for a connected, intelligent manufacturing hub for real-time monitoring, analysis, and optimization of manufacturing performance.
So this for us is about digitizing factories that have been here for not just years, but maybe even decades, and bringing in digital inclusion to all of our factory employees and bring them on the digital journey, and also make sure that we have best-in-class manufacturing processes that gives us the right quality and the right speed in manufacturing. I think finally, I'll just touch a little bit on what is probably close to the heart of everybody in this room, which is really the platforms and the strategy around data technology and analytics that underpin all of these use cases. So just as a little recap, right? We are digitizing, so it means connected consumers, connected operations, connected customers are creating huge amounts of data. And how do we really bring this together and harness it is really a big thing, a big strategic imperative for us in HUL. At the core is really the data itself, because if we don't harness the data in the right way, very difficult for us to build intelligence. So it is really the bedrock of our strategy. And this is a place where we've been focusing for a number of years. We have a data lake, resilient data lake on the cloud that brings together all of our own operational data end-to-end real time, but it also brings together data sets of interest which we get from our syndicated partners or publicly available sources, so that we are able to do our analytics and drive intelligence into decisions and actions real time. So this is a really big piece for us. A big focus is also to build the right data trust, digital trust around it. How do we have privacy by design, security by design within our data lake? And so this is a big imperative. Building on top of that is democratization. This is one that I think everyone experiences. My previous speaker talked about living it, adoption. That is a big imperative for us as well. So if you can have all the data in the world, if nobody is using it, you're getting no value out of that data. So democratization is a very big imperative. So what are the right tools and technologies that reduces the friction for adoption, but also making sure how do we have the right level of engagement with different parts of the organization, so that we are able to make sure that the wealth of data that you've digitized and brought together is actually used. And so we have tools and technologies that are very simple. So we do search bar based querying for data. So it's like Google search bar equivalent. And so it's very easy. It's very fast. So none of our reports take more than 6-7 seconds to come out. And they're very intuitive. So you put a search and then it starts popping it back. And this has really led to a lot of democratization and adoption of the data for various business processes. And finally, building data-led intelligence on top of it. So what are the use cases where data science, ML, AI make a lot of sense, and how do we keep building this either as a one-off or as regular use capabilities that are used every day, every month, every week, depending on what that use case is. And this is really a three-pronged approach that we are looking at from a data and analytics perspective, which is spread across customer, consumer, and operations, as I shared earlier, which is how we structure ourselves. And finally, I know cloud is one of the areas. This is one as a journey we've been on for 2-3 years. I absolutely think it makes digital and the digital foundation future fit, and therefore we went on a journey for 2 years and we are now 100% on cloud. It has unlocked capacity, speed, which are really, I think, essential for scale and for adoption. So for us, this is really what we've been about. This has been a little bit about our digital journey, and hopefully that gives you some thinking points. And I'm happy to take 1 or 2 questions now, or connect offline for any comments or questions anybody has. Thank you very much.